Yes, my people, welcome back to Tunisia Trading Group. I'm just going to go over the potential trades that you could have taken this week on gold, and I'm going to just try strictly trade between 3 to 5 from Monday to Friday, and let's kind of point out what you could have taken. So, currently on the 1 hour chart, price is clearly bullish because we've taken out our previous higher high. SMAs are also bullish, so now, obviously, in my lower time frame, I'm going to want to be looking for potential long. So, we have this recent 5 minute zone. We've tapped into this zone, and potentially you could say we have SBS, where that could be the 1, this could be the 2, this could be the 3. Price swept with that same candle 4 5, and obviously price has now produced a new higher high. I could also go down to my 1 minute time frame, and I could also proceed and look for the same thing. So currently on my 1 minute time frame, we can see that we have closed about this high here. So this is currently my new zone. So let's just see what price does. So we have made a higher high. So in this case here, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. We've had our sweep. So now I would prefer for price to drop a little bit more, tap into something on our left, and then continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So when we let price play out, it doesn't happen. We take out the high, no problem. So now I'm trading from this high here. We had an MSB, we pulled back, produced a new high. So it's clear to say that price is very, very bullish. So let me see if we can form a new. Okay, perfect. So now we have formed a new 5 minute zone. Go down to my 1 minute chart. Let's see what's gonna happen. That price play out. Okay, so we've just swept. So this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, this is the 4. So now I'm looking for some sort of entry confirmation that's gonna help me take the trade higher. I mean, if I was to draw up my fib from this low to this high, we don't quite tap the 618, but we do tap the 30%. And also we tap the 60%. I mean the 50%. But ideally, I'm just gonna wait for a change in order flow because this is a 5 minute zone. So technically, if we made a high, low, high, low, high, lower, low, ideally I need price to take out this high over here, and then I can start looking for potential longs, or let's just hope for price to drop a little bit further down, and then I can start looking for trade that's going to take us back up. So price might want to tap back into this area here. If that's not the case, then potentially we might come back to this unmitigated move origin. So let's just wait and see what happens. So we've tapped into it, and I don't know if you guys can see, but this is my last down candle. We failed to close below it, so this is technically a IB candle, and you could target a 1.5R, let's say. So let me just rewind that a little bit further back. So then to the bias up there. So let's just wait and see what happens. Okay, so now I'm tagged in. My stop will be at this low here, and obviously take profit will be at the 1.5R. I mean, we did come very, very close to tapping the 618. So you could, you missed out on the 618 entry, but there's still other entries that you could have taken, such as the IB. I mean, you could also see how CSS plays out within this area here. But when you let price play out, you can see how price shoots up. Obviously for CSS, let me just get the DTFX, where is it? Yeah, so for CSS, we've also tapped, what's it called? The 0.3 level. So pretty much the same thing where you put your stop below the low, and price also gave you that win. So let's say you missed all of that, and now you was waiting for the initial internal flip. Then now you're just waiting for price to potentially pull back, which you get now. So now potentially you might be looking at this, where this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, 4, 5. So you're now looking for something within this zone here, but you don't get that. So sometimes these things are going to happen, and you're just going to have to accept the risk and say it is what it is. But this was a nice little trade. We had SBS, we tapped into an area of interest, which was SNDR. We are above the SMAs. We had an IB entry, but also we had a CSS entry. If I just go up to my 5-minute chart, you can see how on the 5-minute it is a validated zone. Yeah, it doesn't really look that great, but what happened? We tapped into area of supply and demand, which was technically the SNDR, and we've taken out that internal previous higher high, and that's more than enough for me to now say, you know what, man's done for the day. So now let's just go over to the next day. So it's now the next day. So this is Tuesday. So again, on my 1 hour time frame, we can clearly see that price is very, very bullish. So again, I'm going to be looking for potential longs. When I head over to my 5-minute chart, so that's the previous trade that we took, and you guys can even see here, this ended up being a higher time frame SBS, where that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3, price swept 4, 5, and you guys can see how price had now shot up. So if you was able to see that, if you was on the charts at that time, then good on you. But now currently, this is what we're playing with. We can see that price is kind of hovering around what's it called, the SMA. So I'm gonna just go over to my 12-minute time frame just to see if I can see anything. So yeah, so on my 12-minute time frame, price looks a little bit better. I can see that price is still bullish. So for me to take a trade again, I'll just wait for this high to get taken out. There's no need for me to try and force a trade within this sort of price action, especially on the 5-minute chart, as you guys can see for yourself. So once that high gets taken out, then I might start looking for a potential trade that's gonna hopefully take me higher. So let me just pre the 1 minute quickly. Yeah, so I'll just wait for that high to get taken out. So we let price play out. So we have finally taken out that internal high. So now I can say that this is an MSB. Within this MSB, what do we have? We have a area of supply and demand, the SNDR, responsible for causing this market structure break. So if there's an area where price might want to bounce from, it's potentially going to be from this area. It doesn't look that clean on the 5-minute chart, but if we head over to the 1 minute, yeah, you guys can see for yourself. I've already missed it, but you guys can see for yourself that potentially this was the 1, this was the 2, this was the 3, price swept 4, 5 above the SMAs. Within this SNDR, we've tapped into this area of supply and demand as well, and you guys can see how price has now shot up. Let's just say you wanted to enter off a fib level, then you guys can see how price taps to 618. Might have been in a little bit of drawdown, but where the sweep is below the 618 tap, I wouldn't have been able to technically enter this trade, which is cool. You're gonna obviously win some and obviously you're gonna lose some, but essentially that was the only trade that you could have potentially taken. It wasn't a star, but the context behind it, in terms of the SMA, in terms of the higher time frame, all of that makes sense. But we've gone past my trading time, so we're gonna go over to the next day. Okay, cool. So now it's Wednesday, and again, 1 hour time frame, we can see that price has taken out that previous higher high. So it only makes sense for me to look for potential longs once again. So when I head over to my 5-minute chart, I can see that price, if you just zoom back out from yesterday, where the potential trade that you could have taken, we can see that all we've done is just produce higher highs and higher lows. Because in this situation here, there's an SBS, there's an SBS within here, there's an SBS within here, there, etc., etc. And there's even a higher time from SBS. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and also now you're looking for the 5 to get yourself in. So I can see from yesterday until now, price has been bullish. So am I gonna try to go against it? No, I'm just gonna go with it. So in this case here right now, if I just look at my most previous zone, then I'm looking at this market structure break here, and you can see how we failed to close below these lows, not once but twice. So now we're trading between this low and this high. So everything's having just this internal structure. We're currently above the SMAs, and we have taken out this high over here internally. So I can now potentially try and look for potential longs. So again, on the 5-minute chart, it might not look as clean, but when I head over to my 1 minute, again, it doesn't look that clean as well. But we have an area of supply and demand, which is this area here. But also we have a potential SBS where this could be the 1, this could be the 2, this could be the 3, 4, 5. We've just gotten above, well, looks like we might just get above the SMAs. However, if we go to my 5-minute, we are above the SMA. So it really depends on what time frame you're trying to use to get yourself in. But in this situation here, you might wait for a trendline break. You might go to your 1 minute time frame in this situation here and wait for this internal high to get taken out. So the options are unlimited in terms of looking for confirmation, trying to get yourself in. You guys can clearly see how this is a IB candle. So now if you want to enter off that, then you guys can be my guest also. So when I let price play out, let's just see what happens. I'm on the 5-minute, I'm on the 1 minute. Okay, perfect. Let's see what's gonna happen now. So when I head over to my 5, you guys can see we've had that trendline break, kind of. Again, trendline breaks are very, very subjective because someone could draw it like this. They're very subjective, but we have one goal in mind, just to see a change in order flow. But I'm gonna just remove that for now, and I'm gonna focus on this flip here. Once it happens, let's just double check. Yeah, perfect. So now that we've had this internal flip, let me just double check that. Okay, it was. Yep, so now that we've had this internal flip, we're above the SMAs. I can start looking for potential trades. So ideally, I will have to make this the 1, and then this kind of the 2. That's the 3. We'll see what happens. So we come back and sweep, but you guys can see how we've now taken out this low, and that's not an issue. That's not an issue at all. Let me just go over to my 5-minute chart and let's double check and see what's really going on. So all we've done is just come back a little bit more deeper. Wanted to tap into this area, potentially still take out a couple of people's stops, and now we'll see what happens from here. So again, if I go to my 1 minute time frame just to see what's happening in terms of order flow, again, I need for price to take out this high now. Let me just remove all of this. So we let price play out, and let me just go to my 5-minute chart again. Remember, until price takes out this protective low, price is still technically bullish. So why should I now change my bias unless I want to be trading a pullback? But we've only just gotten below the SMA. So let's see now if price will take out this high when we let price play out. And we've gone past my trading time. So in terms of Wednesday, there was not a trade that I would have personally taken. You could have entered within this area here, but then you might have got caught out at a break even. It really depends on how you were seeing price within this price action. But let's go over to Thursday. Cool. So it's now Thursday. on the 1 hour chart again, and you guys can see for yourself, price is very bullish. So what am I going to be doing? Looking for longs once again. I only want to be following the trend. I don't want to ever go against the trend. So when we head over to our 5-minute chart, we can see that price is very bullish, and we had this zone here. What happened? We've tapped into it, we've pushed higher, we've created a new zone from this area here, we tapped into it, and we moved higher. We now have this zone here. It looks like we're going to tap into it and obviously potentially move higher. So all I want to be doing is looking for potential longs, and you guys can see for yourself how that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 3. Price sweeps, and obviously price has now given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where this was a sweep. And this was actually trade of the week, by the way. If you haven't seen it, it's my previous video. So yeah, so this was trade of the week, and then price gave us a new higher high. So in this situation here, what would the entry confirmation would have been? Potentially a IB, just like that, or you would have entered off a 618. So yeah, 2 different entries there. Again, is explained on trade of the week. It's literally just the previous video, and then we have now taken out this high. So when you let price play out, what's the time now? We are just producing higher highs and higher lows, and obviously we've gone past my trading time, so we're gonna go over to the next day. Okie dokie, so now it's Friday, the last day of the week, and I mean, price is still technically bullish based off my SMAs, but it now looks like price might be in the pullback where it wants to tap into something on our left and then possibly continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So when we go over to my 5-minute chart, we're probably bearish. Yep, so on my 5-minute chart, we are bearish. So again, we're below the SMAs now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start looking for a potential pullback, or I'm just going to be looking for the shorts because my higher time frame is bearish internally. So we actually have this area here, and I think I marked it out in the Discord, where this is my 1, that's the 2, that's the 3, and then when I let price play out, we don't come back, but now no problem, we have a new zone over here, and I let price play out. So we've come back and tapped into it, where now this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, 4, potentially the 5. So now in this situation here, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna wait for a potential flip on the lower time frame, only because on my higher time frame, technically overall we are still bullish. Overall we're just in the pullback. So now remember, we might be facilitating a higher time frame SBS, where this could be the 1, this could be the 2, this could be the 3, 4, 5. So there's always a chance that we may be just facilitating a higher time frame SBS, and now price is ready to shoot back on up. So hence why I said, now in this situation here, I'm just going to wait for a flip, wait for price to get below the SMAs, and then I'll start looking for trades. So in this situation here, this is my last down up, so I'm going to wait for price to take out these lows over here, and then I might start entertaining something. So as I let price play out, we have taken out this high here, so I can say I can let price take out these lows as well and see what happens. So we've taken out those lows and we've taken out these lows. So this area wasn't tapped into, but we've now completely disrespected it. So if I want to now look for potential trade, I can. I just want to wait and see how price reacts off the SMA over here. And go straight back to the upside. So can you guys see how I've just saved myself from having a potential loser just by being able to wait for confirmed flips, waiting for confirmed order flow. So now I would have saved myself, because I understood that on my higher time frame that potentially we could have had a higher time frame SBS. That's number 1. But number 2, overall price is bullish. So me trading that pullback, yes, I could catch a win here and there, but then it wouldn't make as much sense if I was now trying to trade a continuation. Hence why you got to understand where you are within price. But that's it for the week, and when I just close things out, this is what price looks like. So we went from let me just double check. Well, I don't know, but I went a little bit too far. So you guys can see for yourself, there wasn't much trades that I could have potentially taken. I know a lot of people think I'm catching 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades, but that's not the case. There was only one trade that you could have potentially taken. Another one here, as I already mentioned, but you may not have taken it because it may have not been A-star for you. There was another one here that you could have potentially taken it, but you may have missed. There's another one here, and then this one here, there was no trade that you could have taken because you didn't come back to tap into it. And this one got completely disrespected. So when people are thinking that there's so many trades to take, when you are patient, when you are following your your plan, when you're following your rules, then there's not much trades to take because not everything meets your criteria. And this is kind of a nice overview to see for yourself how when you're just following the trend, look how much more winners you could have caught. Yes, we are now in the pullback, but as I said before, we might be facilitating a higher time frame. Time frame. Because in this situation now, you guys can see for yourself, the daily price is bullish, the weekly price is also bullish, so it only makes sense for me to be looking for potential longs. But I don't want to make this video too long. Always remember that victory belongs to the most tenacious. Whether you know what I'm wishing, guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night, and I'll see you lots next week. Peace and ciao.